Cystic acne sucks. And sometimes it feels like it'll never go away. But the thing with cystic acne is that you're dealing things that are internal.
Hi, dermatologist here. I always find it a little bit difficult to discuss acne and like the advice that estheticians give. Acne is like a medical skin condition, and therefore, estheticians don't really have the jurisdiction to advise people on treating it. That said, their advice can be helpful as far as skincare or, facials or whatever the case may be. However, like the number one area that I see where estheticians overstep is with acne. I don't know exactly what that is. I don't know if it's because everybody thinks they have it down to a science. I don't know if it's because it's so common, so people are asking them about it a lot. I've reacted to Maya's content before and I've said I like her energy, even if I don't really always agree with her, but I feel like what we're about to see here is a little bit misinformed.
Let me tell you 3 supplements that will literally reduce your inflammation and help reduce your cystic acne. Mate, trust me. I'm a medical esthetician that knows what she's talking about.
You're not a medical professional, babe. You shouldn't be telling people to take supplements.
You're gonna take omega-3s every single day. Omega-3s are very anti-inflammatory.
Okay, so omega-3 supplements and acne. Is there any good data behind this recommendation? No, there's not. There have been several studies of different ways of supplementing omega-3s in people with acne and looking for differences in the severity of their disease. The main issues with these studies, they tend to be very small. Some of them don't have control groups, so you can't account for things like the placebo effect or certain biases changing your results. And in most of these studies, the supplementation protocol is different. We're talking different dosing, different kinds of supplements. And in some of the studies, there's actually multiple supplements that are given to those research participants.
Next, you're gonna take zinc and copper pills. Zinc is very anti-inflammatory. It has to be a combination of zinc and copper because zinc depletes your copper. And do not take your zinc pills on an empty stomach because then you'll get a tummy ache.
Is there enough evidence out there to recommend zinc as an acne treatment? Also, no. There's been several studies about this that have a lot of the same drawbacks as the studies about omega-3s. The sample sizes tend to be a little bit larger, but all of them seem to be less than 100 people, which is not great. A lot of them aren't adequately controlled to really answer the question. And again, many of these studies follow different protocols as far as dosing or the type of zinc that was given. In addition to that, there are some GI side effects that can happen with zinc, like GI upset, esophagitis, etc. And serum zinc levels are something that we're going to want to look at when we're giving somebody zinc supplementation, because you actually can overdose on zinc.
And last but not least, so many people are deficient in this, it's vitamin D. Vitamin D is also anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial, which means it can reduce the overgrowth of acne bacteria.
When it comes to vitamin D supplementation as an acne treatment, we have even less data. There are actually several studies showing that people with acne may be more likely to suffer from vitamin D deficiency, but as always, that's correlation, not causation. And it's very likely that people with acne, especially severe acne, are probably spending less time outdoors. So you would kind of expect that. There are even less trials looking at vitamin D supplementation as an acne treatment than there are for zinc or omega-3s. And again, small sample size and using different treatment regimens. 2 big things I want to point out here. Number 1, anytime that somebody uses like, oh, this thing is anti-inflammatory as reasoning, you gotta question that. I always say inflammation is a web. It's not like an up and down scale. There are different kinds of inflammation, and different disease processes have different inflammatory profiles. So just saying, oh, if this is an inflammatory disease, take something anti-inflammatory doesn't work, because most anti-inflammatory treatments are not going to target every kind of inflammation. Hell, some kinds of inflammation even calm down other kinds of inflammation. In a way, inflammation can be anti-inflammatory. Now, a word about staying in our lane. The supplement talk is getting out of control on social media. I need people to know supplements can be dangerous. They're not regulated in the same way as drugs. They can interact with medications, and they can cause problems themselves. I alluded to before the issue with taking too much zinc. You can also take too much vitamin D. And for a lot of these things, like blindly just taking vitamin supplements without knowing if there's a deficiency present is not a great idea. So, yeah, I would consider, if you're not a medical professional, maybe don't blindly tell people to take supplements for a medical problem. Just stay in your lane.